The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The government is readying additional beds at the Modular Hospital that seeks to ease occupancy at the National Kidney and Transplant Institute. To give us more details, we have Gerard de la Peña. He's reporting live from Quezon City. Gerard, good afternoon. What do you have for us?
Yes, Charles, this new modular facility here in Quezon City was built just a few steps from the main hospital wing of the NKTI, the National Kidney Transplant Institute, to be able to cater to COVID-19 patients who are also undergoing hemodialysis treatment. This facility can accommodate 20 patients a day, so this effectively increases the existing 60-patient capacity of the NKTI by about 30%. Dr. Rosemary Liquete, Executive Director of the NKTI, said the institution is currently overwhelmed with patients. They accept COVID patients for dialysis late at night or very early in the morning in order to prevent the spread of infection to non-COVID patients. So this facility is really a big help for them. Now let us just clarify that this facility does not have any beds but actually chairs in order to cater to the needs of those undergoing hemodialysis treatments. So this modular facility was planned as early as in December in anticipation of a surge in cases. And the DPWH said that it took them 2 months to construct this modular facility. This facility also includes sleeping quarters for medical practitioners and healthcare workers working here at the NKTI. So patients may start using this facility by Wednesday next week, May 5. Charles.
Thanks for those updates and stay safe. That was Gerard de la Peña reporting live from Quezon City. Dozens of people were killed following a stampede at the religious Bonfire festival in Israel. Tens of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews had gathered at the tomb of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai for the annual commemoration of the Lag BaOmer. However, the festivities quickly turned into a heavy disaster as a section of the stadium collapsed in Mount Meron in Galilee. At least 38 people died, while over 100 people were injured in the event. This is believed to be one of the largest gatherings of people since the outbreak of the coronavirus disease more than a year ago. Singapore has dethroned New Zealand on top spot of Bloomberg's COVID-19 resilience ranking. Let's take a closer look at their pandemic response in this report.
I would prescribe how other countries can learn from Singapore from my experience on the ground. I think there are a couple of things that I found could have been helpful in the fight. First of all, vaccination efforts. I think we were one of the first countries in the region to kick off vaccination in December. And right now, the vaccination rate at slightly above 20% for those who have received their first doses is among the highest in Asia. Those below 40 will start to get invited from June. So hopefully the government's aim is to get everyone, the local population, all vaccinated by the end of the year. So fingers crossed on that. Very early on, we knew that we had to take strict action or very, very quick measures to bring the virus under control, especially when there was a big outbreak in the migrant worker dormitories. So in April last year, we went into a strict 2-month so-called circuit breaker lockdown. So that's how we try to be proactive and try to get ahead of the game. So the big day is May 26th. It starts with Hong Kong, and we are very, very excited here in Singapore. It's our first travel bubble of any kind with another country. Visitors from Hong Kong, they have to be fully vaccinated before they enter Singapore. Though those from Singapore don't need to, they just need to do a COVID test. We know that from May 26th to June 9, there'll be 1 flight a day from Hong Kong to Singapore and vice versa from Singapore to Hong Kong with 200 passengers per aircraft. Already prices are starting to go up on Cathay Pacific and Singapore Airlines, I see.
The United Kingdom is dancing its way to the new normal. Thousands of people will gather at the mass nightclub rave in Liverpool, England. This as a key test of whether live events halted during the pandemic can reopen at full capacity by June as planned. Let's take a look at the UK's first dance with Mark Davies on Bloomberg Quick Take.
To move forward and look forward to life beyond June the 21st is it's extremely exciting. The DJs, the artists, the people who work behind the scenes, everybody just wants to get back to work and become self-sufficient again.
After more than a year of empty dance floors, the nightclub is back. Well, at least one for now. 3,000 clubbers will gather in Liverpool for the UK's first Big Bash on April 30th, with no social distancing and no face coverings required. At the moment, all other nightclubs in the UK aren't allowed to reopen until at least June 21st, but the popular circus event is getting a special pass for 2 days. It's one of many government-backed pilot events across the country, with scientists on the sidelines. Researchers are studying crowd interactions and behaviour, social distancing options, ventilation and test on entry rules. Based on their findings, they're hoping to build a blueprint for venues across the UK to reopen safely this summer.
When the local authorities got the nod, so to speak, they reached out to us and said, okay, we are going to do these pilot schemes, would you like to be interested and take part? Myself and my business partner Richard was up for a challenge, said, okay, let's do this, and we understood it was going to be like an enormous responsibility and of course an enormous honour.
For this event, ravers have to test negative for COVID using a lateral flow test. They're required to do this the day before at designated centres. Researchers are also asking them to take a PCR test on the day and again 5 days later, but this isn't mandatory.
With the exception of the additional protocol to get your tickets and your lateral flow test, once you are over the threshold into our events, the whole point of it is that it's pre-COVID times as such, which is the most exciting part of it and also, I would say, daunting part of it in a lot of ways.
Nighttime businesses like clubs have been among the hardest hit by COVID and certainly the slowest to recover. Many businesses are gone for good and others are hanging by a thread. Workers, vendors, freelancers and creatives across the scene have suffered enormous financial setbacks.
This event is extremely significant for all sorts of reasons. Of course, firstly, it's just the possibility of going back to work. I mean, myself, I've not worked or had any sort of income really for 14 months, and I'm certainly not the only one. There's a whole industry in hospitality events, and everyone that has really been left with very, very little. So to be able to get back to work is the main thing. The messages and calls and support we are getting from people that are holding out a lot of hope and responsibility for this weekend to be able to get through this and to move forward and look forward to life beyond June the 21st is it's extremely exciting.
Fears of new variants and further virus outbreaks still loom, especially as many countries like India suffer their deadliest outbreaks yet. But with mass vaccinations underway in the UK, authorities are cautiously optimistic about the months ahead.
People don't really believe that June the 21st is going to be the date to back to whatever was normal. But it seems positive for me, the amount of tickets that have been sold up and down the UK for all events post June the 21st is just like there's never been anything like it. I am feeling personally optimistic just because of the success of the vaccine rollout. I'm very, very happy that there's going to be some work, hopefully, and we're all looking forward to a brighter future.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.